Hey y'all, I'm Todd Bailey.
What's up? It's Arie Lumberdozy.
And this is fucking Brewtal.
Get in the pit, stock up the fridge, and listen. We're here to cover the latest in metal news and craft beer. A match made in hell.
If it makes you bang your head, then we want to hear it. If it tickles your taste buds, share those suds.
Turn it up to 11.
Crack open that beer.
It's about to get brutal.
What is up, Hopwolves? It's your boys, Todd and Arie, coming at you with episode 73, recording on 3/31. Yeah, man. How's your week been going, dude?
Pretty mad this week. Not much happened. I didn't have a lot of motivation to do much anything, which sounds like depression possibly is. I don't think so. It's just a weird week, but anyway, nothing too crazy. But Sky and I have been playing It Takes Two, and that's been a lot of fun. I've been recommended that game for a while now from a few different friends, and it's a really fun platformer that get to actually do like some couch co-op as we used to call it. God, I hate fucking saying shit like that, but that's true. I've been looking for something like that for a while, so that's been fun. Kind of like a nice nostalgic thing, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun to play that with Sky, and not much else, dude. How about yourself? I know this week was not great.
Yeah, Abby, unfortunately, she has passed away. So R.I.P. to Abby. I actually want to raise my glass for you, girl. Cheers to you. It seems surreal. It doesn't seem real, like it has happened.
Yeah.
But just this morning, we did pick up the cremations, if you will, the urn. We actually got, I say urn, but we got a box that we could slide a picture of her in, and her ashes are in a nice little bag. And then we got a paw print into some plaster, I guess it would be. That white stuff that you can like make an impression in.
Plaster.
But a really nice presentation. And actually, I fucked up today. I accidentally put some nail polish remover to try to get rid of a sticker thing on the bottom.
Oh, no.
But shout out to Fond Memories is where we went in Austin, Texas. I went back and they replaced it. So you guys are the best.
Hell yeah.
I really am glad I got this corrected. I fucked up. So I just wanted to get that on the record. Apologies to Shannon. But I'm glad we got that corrected. And we have a nice little setup, a little table with her blanket that she favored. I like to believe she liked it.
Nice.
I think she liked the color red because she constantly would lay on red things.
Okay.
So,
nice.
Yeah. I don't even know if cats are colorblind or not, but she loved this blanket. And that's what we put everything on. So it's a nice little table upstairs near our bed that we can look at. We even have a little candle there to light whenever we want. So yeah, nice little tribute of her life. It's hard to process just because it happened so quickly after the diagnosis,
right?
And it was something we never knew of before. Like I said, it was FIP. I forget what the acronym stands for, but essentially it's cat coronavirus. And she was like in 2% of all cats in the world, literally. Like it's crazy. Yeah. So if you got a cow out there and you're listening, maybe do a checkup and maybe check for FIP, FIP.
Yeah. R.I.P. Abby. Very much missed on Brewtal and in Todd's household, I'm sure.
I know she would actually be screaming in the background on some of these recordings. I'm going to leave on a positive note. Shannon changed her life. Because this is the cat that it would always hide, and it came from a hoarding house, and it transformed. Transformed into the most vocal cat to where she would just jump in your lap and scream. So I really think, Shannon turned her life around.
That's what's up. It's never easy losing a family member like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you view your furry friends like that or not, but we do here on the show. So it's never easy, but as long as you cherish the good times and like anything.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. Let's raise one more, dude, for Abby before we head on over to other aspects of the show. Cheers, Abby.
Cheers to you, girl. Yeah, man, I'm gonna start us off on the beer because it's I got a cat on my can, man. I'm a cat dad nowadays, and that's what attracted me to this beer. I'm gonna hold up the can for those watching. It is CHONK from Drekker Brewing Co. They're out of Fargo, North Dakota. I don't know how they made it down to Austin, but they were there on the shelf. It is a Sunday Sour on the can with strawberry, cow nibs, and coconut. So before we did this recording, I had to look this up pretty thoroughly because they actually do multiple chunks of different flavors. Whereas I almost thought this was the peanut butter and jelly one, but it was not. So I'm glad I looked it up. Let me actually describe the can. I'll bring it back on camera. Like I said, I call it a cat from hell because it's like fire red. It looks like flames in the background, and the cat is just laying down doing biscuits. Who knows? But it looks like an evil cat.
Does it have a permit for those biscuits, dude?
I don't know. Texas has some weird laws down here. But
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, what's cool about this? They actually are pretty thorough about the malt and everything on the side of the can. So on the side of the can, it says for the malts, it's Pale 2 Row, wheat, and carafoam. For the hops, it's Magnum and Hallertau Blanc. For the flora, it's Lactobacillus culture, house ale yeast. They call them gimmicks. It's strawberry, cow nibs, coconut, lactose, and vanilla. And they also have an attention on the side of the can, which is making me a little worried to drink this, but I've already taken a couple sips. It says it contains a significant amount of fruit, so please keep cold at all times. I bought this on a shelf, so it was not cold when I bought it, but I have since had it in the fridge, so hopefully that helps. I'm going to bring the glass up. This is what threw me off. It looks like peanut butter, if you will, like the color of it. It looks like brown, shitty water. I'm going to just say that. When you look at it, it kind of makes you take a step back, but once you start tasting it, the experience gets so much better. So I'm going to get one off the palate here. You get the sourness. The lactose does come through, but it's not as thick as the Sunday Sour implies, but it is definitely beefier than your normal
chonkier
brew. Chonkier. Yes, it is chonky. It is a chonky boy. I definitely get the strawberry right away. The cow nibs are hidden a little bit. Not so much the coconut either, but pretty much in that order. Strawberry at the top, cow nibs, and then coconut, I think, is really buried in there. But it goes down smooth. Like, it's actually not too sour. I think it's a nice balance with the lactose. Don't really get anything with the vanilla. I just think it's too much buried by the sweetness of everything else.
Sure.
I do like it. I'm not gonna lie. It's a sipper for me because I'm usually not jumping into these kinds of beers, but
right.
I think this is like perfect after a meal. So I would recommend this, especially because like they do so many different kinds. So whatever chunk you find on your shelf, like go for it. I think it's a nice dessert beer to kind of just have after like a savory meal, and to add some sweetness to that to kind of counter. I think it's perfect.
You should throw some ice cream up in that piece. Make a beer float.
Honestly, that would taste pretty good.
To circle back to, was it not last episode, the episode before that. Anyway, when I had the Cookie Monster one, we actually did grabbed a Wendy's Frosty and did it, and the beer was significantly better.
Oh, that's funny. Maybe I should go to McDonald's. There's a McDonald's down the street. Maybe I can get a Frosty from them.
Don't knock the beer float, dude. It sounds weird, but when you have the right pairing with the right ice cream, like this one I think would pair really well. But
and I will say it's actually getting better the more I sip it, which is a good thing in a way, because it's weirdly, yes, keep it cold, but as this beer's getting warmer, it's actually tasting better.
Yeah, well, a lot of beers, especially when you get to like stouts and things like that, are supposed to be at room temperature because you get different like flavor profiles and stuff like that. So maybe that's one of them.
Yeah. Either way, recommend. That's my final verdict. I do recommend this beer.
Excellent. I was telling Sky, and we were talking about this beforehand, I've been so proud of your picks and branching out. The fact I've never had anything from Drekker, but I know that they're like a really stellar brewery. I had to say it at least once. Especially for their sours. I think like that's what they're known for. So I was excited that you got something from them. And then chonk is just like a great term in general. The look of the beer looked tasty, so I'm glad that it matched up with the actual taste. It's always a plus. So
yeah,
fuck yeah. And also Fargo, like what the fuck else is coming out of Fargo other than like the Coen brothers making a movie about it?
So I don't know. Whatever you put in that wood chipper.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, that's good. We're starting it off on a good note. Only good vibes for this episode. This one is for Abby. Yeah, well, I'm gonna say, like, by the time however long we do Brewtal, which you guys are gonna be stuck with us for like the foreseeable future, I'm gonna basically feature every Three Floyds beer that they have.
Do it.
I'm pretty like I am obsessed with this brewery. They are probably like my favorite brewery ever since I was introduced. I think it was from Brandon, our buddy Brandon Brewtal. Shout out to him. Got me my first Zombie Dust. I could be mistaken, and I might be giving him too much credit, which I can never do. But regardless, I'm pretty sure he was the one. For any long-term Hopwolves out there, Zombie Dust is one of my favorite, if not my favorite beer. And this is a very long-winded way of saying I finally got the new one, which is Zombie Ice, and it's the counterpart to Zombie Dust. It's basically like Zombie Dust, but it's their double pale ale. And this is a pretty new addition to the Three Floyds family. Like I want to say within the last like 3 months or so. But anyway, let me start off by showing you the can here. So for everyone listening, also watching, it has Zombie Ice on the side with some very, very Iron Maiden looking font.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love. But yeah. And then if we turn it, you can see the zombie himself, which also kind of reminds me of like an Eddie type of character, also Maiden.
We're going to do this live, dude. Put that in front of your face. I'm going to take a picture of you real quick. Oh, no, put it in front of your face like it is your face.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
And then just a little bit more towards the camera. There we go, right there. Just hold that. Boom. We're going to post that for all the Hopwolves. That looks awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. Per usual, can art, 10 out of fucking 10.
Yeah.
They're definitely one of the most metal breweries out there. The color palette itself, just to describe that, a lot of blacks and grays, of course. But it's also got the ice blue and purple to like really make things pop. And that's one of the things that, yeah, you'll definitely notice with the zombie itself is that the eyes are popping out because of the icy blue and everything like that, and the purple to really pop off. So yeah, I already knew I was going to like this beer. Like there was no way that I wasn't going to like this beer beforehand. And I forgot that Three Floyds actually made it over to PA. So I was already fucking stoked to get that. And I got this 12 banger that they had, which included it because I was just going to get a 6-pack of the Zombie Ice. And then Skylar had, like, she saw that there's a 12 pack and it has Zombie Dust. It had this one. It has their Barbarian Hazy IPA, which I had never had either. Also good. And then I love when breweries do like exclusives for these mix packs. And they had a lager in there too. So easily one of the best mix packs that I've had as far as like straight from the brewery goes. So already just everything's up there. But and one more thing on the can, their slogan is "It's not normal," which is on the side as well. So to get into the beer itself, it's 8.5% ABV with 55 IBUs, so middle bitterness. Three Floyds is from Munster, Indiana, and per the can, it says crafted with an unholy amount of citra hops. This double pale ale heralds the zombie evolution after the dust has settled from the apocalypse. If that's not fucking metal, I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So when I crack the can open, dude, you can smell like just the hops, like off the nose. The juiciness is there. I love citra hops. The issue that I always have with some, like the way that some breweries use the hops, they'll hurt my throat after a while just because of the acidity. And I can tell you that this one does not, which is a huge plus. So to get one on the palate here, Zombie Ice from Three Floyds. Cheers.
Don't ice yourself.
I would not want to chug this.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I would, but it would not be enjoyable. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's got that nice bite to it, but it's so drinkable, dude. It's so smooth. It's juicy. It's like, again, it's got like the floral notes from how like the bitterness is. I haven't poured it in the glass, so I'm not really sure what the color is looking like, but probably pretty nice. And I love everything about it. I was already going to recommend it before I even had it. Let me get one more though.
You're like, I just want to drink some more.
Mm-hmm. It actually took so much willpower to not drink this one. I've had this 12 pack for like a week and a half.
Oh man.
And I was like, dude, I just wanted to like crush everything in there. But it just like, it's nice. Again, like the body it's about a medium, I would say. Very smooth, good mouthfeel. Yeah. Already gonna recommend it. Three Floyds fanboy forever. Can't help it.
Let's go, dude. Yeah, I need to try them. That's as simply as I can say it. I need to try it because I haven't, and I'm missing out.
Well, next time that we're together, even if you come to PA, dude, we can make it happen. God, it's just so good, dude. So balanced. Great track record. I would have Zombie Dust and Zombie Ice in my fridge like at all times. Would not get sick of it. But speaking of not getting sick of things, let's get into the metal headlines because we have a rather cool little thing going on here that Todd had brought to my attention and now to yours, Hopwolves. So let's get into it.
We're just going to shamelessly plug Kardavox Academy because they're awesome. Mark Garrett, who leads that, he's also from Kardashev and Never Breath. Many people forget that second band. But
yeah, I didn't know he was in that one.
He is. But as you know, or if you don't know, he has a YouTube channel, constantly talks about vocals primarily. He is a vocalist and he loves everything about it, just even down to the anatomy of the throat, like how to make certain sounds. And he teaches, hence Academy. But this time around, he's doing a contest, which is dope. And per KardavoxAcademy.com, he says they have one amazing song, 13 incredible guest judges, 14 total, including him, 2 competitive rounds, and 3 phenomenal winners. I wrote down the wrong word. But speaking to that, so this is a contest. The contest is closed as of today, but we just love that it's going on. So pay attention because I'm sure he's going to post about it. Let me read you these guest judges. You might know a few of them. Like I had mentioned, Mark Garrett, he's one of them. He's the official judge. But after him, he has Joey Bad from Fit for an Autopsy, Phil Bozeman of Whitechapel, Dickie Allen of Infant Annihilator, Scumfuck, Scarlet Rot, Project Vengeance, probably another band in the future. He has so many projects.
So many.
Next up, we have Adam Warren of Oceano, Austin Dickey of Darkwatch. He also has his own YouTube channel. We have Cheney Crab of Entheos, Johnny Dulo of Carcosa Angel Maker, Megan Target of Vexed. That's an awesome get. We have Ben Doer of Shadow of Intent, Cami Beverly of Oceans of Slumber, Josh Four of Tetrarch, Melissa Bonney of Ad Infinitum. I butchered that name. And then last but not least, we have Vicky Sarakis of The Agonist. Sorry, I don't say their names often, but what a great lineup to get. What's cool about this is he's like, you can do a totally all scream version of a song, or you can do a totally clean version of a song. That's what's up. Like, I love that he's not like, we want the next Will Ramos from this. I love that he wants to find the best produced song, who is using the best vocal techniques and making them shine. So I'm very, very curious to see what comes out of this. The only thing that has been public is the sign up. So we have no idea who signed up for this. We don't know what we're going to get. We spoke off camera about this, how this kind of makes us think of Battle for Ozfest in a way, because that's a throwback for anyone who doesn't know. They had a competition for a certain number of bands who would eventually get like the opening act for Ozfest. Out of that grouping, A Dozen Furies was the winner, although Arie and I contest that Mantis should have won.
Robbed.
Yeah, Mantis was like the heavier band, because A Dozen Furies was more metalcore, whereas Mantis was definitely just heavy metal.
Yeah.
But that just makes me think of this. I love the spirit of this. I love that it's getting the vocalist names out there that you might not know about. I didn't know a lot of these female vocalists. So it's very cool for me to see them being included in this list. Yeah. What are your thoughts on all of it?
Yeah, I think it's great. And it really plays into like the culture that we're in now. Like, you see vocal covers all the time, and there's so many. I mean, it's not even like to like internet culture, but like there's so many talented people out there that you might like go to even like a local like open mic night at a coffee shop, and you're like, dude, how is this person not like doing this for a living? So like to have a platform and to have all these phenomenal judges, I mean, even if you don't win, like getting any type of feedback is pretty cool. You know, if they're going to do that, I'm sure they've got plenty of submissions to go through, and I'm sure they can't get to everyone, but still, like, what an opportunity. And if you look at like what you can win, it's pretty cool. And not only that, like, I guess like one of the winners, like you obviously get to go like produce the song, like you get to do like professionally tracked vocals for the song. But I think I saw on there too that like any studio time, they said like while recording, your audition is covered by Kardashev Academy.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's what's
or
up.
Kardavox, excuse me. I think so. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said, which is pretty fucking cool. I know you get like merch if you're one of the winners too. Like, there's a lot of really cool things. We'll link it in the show notes so you can see exactly what it is. I'm just kind of going off the dome here, but it's not just like one of those like, because sometimes you see like contests, you're like, man, like, you know, like, yeah, that's a good opportunity, but like the payout's not exactly there. Like, the payout's there and the opportunity's there. So that's really cool. There's hopefully going to be a lot of really talented vocalists coming out of the woodwork. So we'll keep an eye out on what this looks like. Out of left field, I hope that Mantis wins this. It has nothing to do.
It's the vocalist of Mantis.
Just let that band do its thing, dude. They were so good, and that was so dumb that A Dozen Furies fucking won that. Still mad about that.
Like I said, you can actually find Mantis's album on Spotify, so go check it out. It's MANNTIS, so 2 N's. It's there. Go listen to it. That's what's up. Of note, A Dozen Furies is not there. I don't know what happened. Probably a bad record deal. It's usually how that goes, but
well, That just speaks for itself right there.
Yeah.
Mantis was fucking robbed. I know their one song is like something with an axe. It's like Axe of Redemption or something. That was like the main thing. Anyway, check that shit out, dude. What a really cool thing to bring up. So thank you, Todd, for finding that. I know you've been a fan of Kardavox Academy for a while. They do a lot of really cool things for the community, including this. But let's get into the albums that dropped this week. Mantis should be on here. That's going to be a running thing now. Thank you, Todd, for that. But this was an interesting week. Like, there's a lot of really cool things that dropped, but like nothing, not like the last couple weeks. Like, there hasn't been any like as many like quote unquote like A-list ones that dropped, which is exciting, but also like kind of, I don't know. It's one of those like, dude, I don't even know like what to check out other than like you should check all of them out because most of these are relatively newer. Anyway, let's get into it. We're starting off the list with Bitter Breath and their EP Where It Dies. Then we have Bury Tomorrow, which is of note. Probably know them. The Seventh Son, and Sun is S-U-N, not S-O-N. I feel like that has to be pointed out. Defamed with their Black Blood EP. And honestly, this took me a minute because I'm like, wait a minute, like Defamed, like the one that we both were really digging, like did they just drop an EP?
I don't know anymore, dude. I think we might have jumped the shark or whatever the saying is, but this I think is the official EP now. Nowadays on Spotify, they mark stuff as albums and EPs when they aren't.
Right.
So maybe we got fooled, but either way, we're promoting Defamed twice now.
Yeah, I mean, as we should, because that is a fucking awesome EP.
Hell yeah.
And it's got 2 new tracks as opposed to the 4 that they have already released. So regardless, check out Defamed. Next up, we have Demon Stealer with the Propaganda Machine. This one trips me up, but I love the name. We have Floody, Melculi, and Anticlist.
Yes.
That's so hard to say. I think I got it. So that's pretty entertaining right there. Reminds me of like a Calloused Out Boys. I don't know about sonically because I haven't listened to it yet, but name-wise. Then we have Fresh Wounds with their Deep Cuts EP. I love the play between the name and the name of the EP there. Really nice. Then we have Gel with Only Constant. And you might know Gel because they played a show at a Sonic. And yes. I know that 856 covered that. So if you go check out their channel, his channel, I should say, that's a pretty entertaining one to do. Next up, we have Human Breed with Wildfire EP, Kingsman with Bones Don't Lie, Command, and that's spelled with a K, with their Death Age EP. Then we have Nervo Chaos with Catonic Wrath. Nunnel, I think that's how you say that, with their Empire EP, Outlaw with Reaching Beyond Asaya, Ron Sound with Apocalypse, Sermon with Of Golden Verse, SHADECARRIER with Human Being EP, Silence Before the Storm, 5, The Dead Eyes of Eternity, Spirit Possession with Of the Sign, ellipsis, so the ... The Ongoing Concept with Again, and then to finish out the list, we have Void Chapter with Humanity, and of note, the A and the I are capitalized in Humanity. Honestly, I did not know half this list. More than half.
Yeah. If
we're being super honest, which is really cool. But of course, I'm going to go and listen to the ones that I am somewhat familiar with, if not already a fan of. But what did you listen to? If you had a chance to, I know this week's been kind of crazy for you.
So yeah, I actually haven't listened to much, but I'm gonna pick Defamed just because I really loved what I thought was the EP.
Right.
I haven't heard these new songs yet, but I have to believe they're pretty on par with the other 4. Other than them, I know I really want to listen to that Gel album because they're more of a hardcore band.
Yeah.
I've heard the Command and then Spirit Possession are really good. There was actually a few metal artists on social media saying like, "Oh, so glad these two dropped." So got to check those out if they're recommended. And then other than that, the Ongoing Concept, they were a band. They're making a comeback with this album.
Mhm.
So I'm very curious to see what that sounds like. I've heard they're kind of an eclectic band. It's not what you expect from a metal band. So that sounds like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I listened to like half of the Ongoing Concepts last night when I was playing Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
Of note. And yeah, it is very eclectic. It's really cool and was not, like you said, like it's not what you're expecting. There's a lot of pop elements to it.
Okay.
It does go really heavy, and the screamer, I think at least one of them reminds me of Peter Romo from Keonashi. So like it's a really different type of, like a really kind of like, I guess like more emotional, almost whiny type of scream.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really cool. I was really enjoying like what I listened to it. So I have to go with that to shout out that. Fresh Wounds, been excited for that one to drop for a while, and it delivers. It's like 4 tracks of just straight up fucking filth.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Defamed, which again, like you said, now that we know that EP actually dropped.
Hey, it's almost April Fool's on this recording. We were fooled.
We were fooled. And the 2 songs that they haven't released yet are fucking bops for sure. But ultimately, I'm going to go with SHADECARRIER, dude. They are a band from Tokyo. And dude, that scene is churning out like some of the craziest fucking music I've heard in a long time, if ever. And not just the Tokyo scene, but like a lot of like the Asian metal scene in general. They are pushing, I mean, I don't want to lump it all together because I know they're all very different, but just based on what I've heard, like they're just doing like some of the craziest, like off the wall shit. Another one that comes to mind is like someone like Pale Dusk, where you're having
absolutely
like 12 different genres in one song and it works.
Even Gnosis, dude.
Gnosis does that.
His songs are crazy. It's just not what you expect, but it still sounds awesome.
Yeah, whatever these bands and these artists are doing to make it work, yes. And SHADECARRIER is one of them. It's a little bit more, I guess, like if we had to say it, like straightforward, and that is not like the right term for it.
Yeah.
It's just not like there's no like jazz interludes in this EP. It's stupid heavy, but it's chaotic, like in a calculated way. I loved it. I listened to it a few times already, and yeah, pleasantly surprised with that find. So fuck yeah, I think I found that on like Beheading the Traitor. So if that's the case, thank you, because everyone should know about that band.
Oh yeah, man. Let's keep things moving, dude. We are going to get on our Certified Brutal Bangers playlist, and here's how it's going to start. We're going to start with Worm Shepherd, The Frozen Lake Part 2, in parentheses, The Ruined. What can't we say about this track? We'll get to it in a little bit because it's just that dang good. That good. Next up, we have Chainsmoking Grandma from the band Demon Fuck. This is pretty much on point with every song title that they've ever released, and we love them for it.
The band is one of my favorites, dude.
Yeah.
Love them.
After that, we have the song Grave Rats from the band Bear King, and that's spelled Bare, in case you were wondering. Not like an actual bear, but
I wish it was.
I know.
Every time.
They need to get together with Cape Kong, and we'll do like
oh yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Even this band. Next up, we have Seagull Intervention. That's the band name, with their track Deuteronomy. This band is just churning out some awesome slam and metal. Like it's great, and what a name. After that, A Pretext to Human Suffering. We featured them before. They just released a new one called Paradox. After them, and this is a new band. Arie put this across my desk. Miasis, that's the name of the band, and their song is El Señor de los Moscas. After them, we have Cattle Decapitation with their new song Scourge of the Offspring. So that is the second single so far from Terra Sight, which is coming up this year.
Yes.
Then we have Shadow of Intent with a new song called The Migrant. And then we have After the Burial. We chose Nothing Gold. They actually released 2 singles, but this seems to be the more popular one that's being pushed as a single. They have not skipped a beat at all.
They keep getting better.
Yeah, they're aging like wine, especially with that new vocalist. He's just,
which is funny because Anthony's like not even new.
I know,
like he's been with the band for like way longer than the OG vocalist has been.
That is true. That is very true. That was a good point. After them, we have Boundaries. They released an album last year, but they have a new track called Bedlam. After them, we have Ache in all caps with their track Murphy's Law. So anything could happen with that one. After them, we have the band Splutter, and this is featuring Taylor Barber of Left to Suffer. Their track is called Blinded Eyes. That one is very, very heavy. It pained me to move it down the list, but sonically, I think it fits here the best. After them, we have the band Bone Crown, and this is featuring Mark Hunter, ex Chimera. And the track is As I Drown. What I love about this, dude, I feel like Mark Hunter is just saying yes to everyone, and I love it because he's been featured on a lot of tracks lately.
Dude, I mean, to that point before we finish, like Chimera's like back too. Like they're doing, like I just saw a bunch of things, like they're gearing up for like a reunion show and everything because nice. I think that they're doing a 20th anniversary for The Impossibility of Reason with like, I don't know if it's all the OG members, but like I know Rob Arnold's in there, and like Mark Hunter's been the only like consistent member throughout Chimera's entirety. But like anyway, so to your point, it's awesome to see him like you said, like say yes to so many bands, and like he's a great feature to get. So I don't know, I'm really excited. I would fucking kill to see The Impossibility of Reason in its entirety. One of my favorite albums. Anyway, please continue before I go off on a Chimera rant again.
I was going to say, maybe this is him doing warm-ups. This is how he's doing warm-ups, is he's just saying yes to everything. And he's like, I'm going to just start screaming again and see how it feels.
I mean, between that and when he filled in for Randy last year.
Oh, yeah, that's true, dude. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Regardless, I would love to see them come back. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
At number 15 in the list, we have Enforced with another track. This one's called Starve. They're churning out great music. This next band, I actually never knew it before, but they're really good. They are What Lies Below, and their track is called Bound, period. After them, Heart of a Coward. This is new music after a little bit of a time. This song is called This Place Only Brings Death, and it is a heavy one from them. I'm very happily surprised I got to listen to this one. I was really digging it. After them, like Moz the Flames, with Predestination Paradox. He does a sick fucking low in this song, so go check it out.
Love you, Chris.
Yeah, we love you, Chris. After them, we have Defocus with their song Let the Bond Be My Grave. Last but not least, we have Current with So Alone. They're not so alone because they're in good company with all these other bangers. They just had more cleans in the song, so that's why they're ranked so low. But what a nice little bow tie to end with. This always begs the question, Arie, what was your favorite of the day and or highlights?
So I just wanted to point out one thing before I get into it. Like, shout out Chris Wiseman for having 2 bangers in the same week.
That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that
up. Which is crazy because like Shadow of Intent, like The Migrant is arguably like one of the heaviest tracks they put out in a long time. Which isn't to say that they've been soft, but like the breakdown section is pretty sick. And then, Currents has always been, I mean, it's not in the same wheelhouse, but still killer. But like you said, like it's got the cleans. It's always been more melodic than Shadow of Intent has been. But those are 2 highlights for sure. was very pleasantly surprised with The Migrant. After the Burial, out of fucking nowhere. I love that band. So that was cool that we got 2 tracks from them. Of course, Demon Fuck.
Oh my God.
Love everything about that band, dude. It's so good. The Boundaries one, I actually like shamefully admit that I did not listen to their newest album nearly enough, but I love that band, and what I did listen to was great. This one, I know Bedlam was supposed to be on the last album, but they didn't feel like they were ready with it, so they needed more time to tweak it and get it to the point that they were comfortable and felt good about it. So I'm glad that they waited, because whatever they needed to tweak, they did it. This song is super sick. But anyway, with that being said, the one that I've had on repeats is The Lake That Is Frozen Part 2 from Worm Shepherd, dude. I love this track.
Next level, dude.
It's like, next level, dude. It's 7 minutes. It's like this is 7 minutes in heaven right now, dude. That I would be locked in a closet with this song, or really anyone from Worm Shepherd. Why not? It's 2023.
You're like, pass the chalice with all the black stuff in it.
Yeah, give me that shit. Super cool video. Yeah, I'm really loving everything that Worm Shepherd's doing. I got to see them once, like 2 years ago, I guess, at this point, and like they're just as good live. Devin is on some next level shit, and he's like such a young vocalist too. But the band itself is super tight, and it just sounds like they're continuing to really come into their own. Ritual Hymns was a phenomenal record that, for better or for worse, it came out like way earlier last year. So a lot of times it kind of gets like lost in the shuffle, but I feel like that one's had some longevity. Anyway, I'm rambling. Worm Shepherd did it for me this week the most, but there's another killer list for sure. But what about yourself? What was satisfying your metal hunger this week?
I'm going to start with highlights. Pretty much all the bands you mentioned. Really pleasantly surprised by that Bone Crown song with Mark Hunter. I really liked each section of that song. Heart of a Coward really stood out to me, like Moths to Flames. I love the direction they're headed in.
Yeah.
Currents was solid. One that was very obscure to me, but once I listened to it, I was really blown away, was Ache. Murphy's Law was really good.
I really like that song, dude.
Yeah. Along with What Lies Below, that very much held my attention throughout the entire song. But the two that stand out the most, I will pick one, Worm Shepherd and Cow Decapitation. Just to be different, these are both number one, but I am going to actually pick Cattle Decapitation because the song is so fucking catchy while being so fucking heavy. His vocals are so unique, and the chorus to that song just kept me looping it back and back and back. I really love how this album's shaping up. So that's my pick, Cattle Decapitation. I love that they're taking a concept with this album and fleshing it out.
Yeah, dude, same. I think it's not April yet as of recording, but within the next couple weeks, we will get Terrorsight, which is super exciting. And honestly, some of the best fucking merch too, like the Raid shirt that they have,
it's so good.
That you showed me is so good.
Yeah, they're very tongue in cheek, even with the serious concept. They even, I think, retweeted or shared. Someone said like their album art looks like A Bug's Life, and they shared that because they're like, yeah, it does. It's so true. Like, it looks like the grasshopper from A Bug's Life.
That's my favorite, dude. I love when bands have a sense of humor but can still maintain like the integrity of what they're like doing sonically and lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Which is, to circle back to Demon Fuck, like I think that's like what, like why I like them so much too, is like they're talking about like some real shit, but also having some fun with it.
Yeah, dude, it looks so silly on paper, but like once you hear them, you're like, okay, like, all right, I'll listen to this. Like, I'd love to see this live. Like, and their music videos too. Go check them out.
Awesome. One more thing before we get into the featured band, which we're always super stoked for. I was looking at the Heart of the Coward track, and I was like, dude, why is this not like being released by Unique Leader? Because it was from A Rising Empire, I think is the label that they're on. I was like, oh, right, because Jamie Graham hasn't been in Heart of a Coward for fucking years. Dude, I was so confused.
That's actually really, really funny, considering, his history with the band. Oh, man. It would be kind of cool if he, like, signed them, but regardless, I'm pleasantly surprised. It's a really heavy track. You think more metalcore with those guys, but it was good. It was heavy. My only complaint is you didn't capitalize any other word in your song title other than the first one. I was like, who does that?
A coward, apparently, with a heart. But let's get into the featured band, dude. I was going to say, like, speaking of heavy, but then we got into Hearts and Cowards. Well, actually, the heart would really go into the mythos of what we're talking about here. But we're talking about the Convalescence.
Yes, sir.
Super excited. We've talked about them a few times before. I've actually had the chance to see the Convalescence live, and they've been around for a while. So almost, I think it's either been 10 years or close to 10 years. But regardless, they are a band that I feel like severely underrated. Mm-hmm. They are churning out some of the sickest deathcore out there, dude. And so we're very honored and very excited that this, as Todd said, passed our desk. And we had the opportunity. Shout out to John Asher Media for hooking us up with this opportunity. And the Convalescence giving us some great answers. The track that we are featuring is No Survivors, which features Scott Ian Lewis of Carnifex.
Oh, yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. The band lineup, we have Keith Wampler on vocals, Brandon Davis on guitar, Toby Wright on guitar, Ronald Buckley on bass, and Cameron Olade on drums. Let's get into the bio on what the Convalescence is all about, dude. I love everything that they like. The presentation and everything has been top notch, and this is really cool. So take it away, dude. What do you got for us?
All right, they wrote this. The Convalescence is a 5-member symphonic deathcore band formed in Toledo, Ohio in early 2011, like you were talking about, very early, almost 10 years, more than 10 years.
I guess I could have just looked at that.
It's all good.
Sorry, guys.
The Convalescence blends black metal, horror theatrics with intense death metal style blast beats and shredding guitar, along with brutal slamming breakdowns and catchy melodies. The band tours nearly nonstop, racking up over 1,000 live performances across 9 countries. That's what's up.
Hell yeah.
The Convalescence has released 4 full-length albums, 2 EPs, and 2 standalone singles, resulting in 1 million plays, over 1 million, on Spotify and YouTube. The band also released 2 documentaries via Amazon Prime Video in 2020, supported by a sold-out movie theater screening of them both in Maumee, Ohio. Maumee? I think it might be Maumee. I don't know.
I'm actually not sure.
I don't know the city in Ohio, and we're both from
Erie.
I
don't either.
Yeah, we're both from Erie, PA. We should probably know that, but that was on October 30th. Kind of fitting with that horror vibe they go for. The band recently finished recording their 5th full-length album with producer Jason Sukoff at Audio Hammer Studios with a projected release this year, 2023. The band is filthy, brutal, symphonic, everything you want. It's recommended for fans of Carnifex, Black Dahlia Murder, and Chelsea Grin. That's good company all around.
Absolutely.
Here's a little bit about the track. We always ask every band that we feature to kind of give us a quote about what the meaning of the song is, etc., etc. They say the single is one of the hardest hitting songs we've ever released. The lyrics and video were inspired by the Alien films. That touches my heart. Those are some of my favorite horror films.
Hell yeah.
And they say having Scott doing some nasty guest vocals really helped give it the brutality we were looking for. Agreed. They played it live throughout their recent European tour and absolutely love the energy it brings to the stage. They're looking forward to this one being part of their live show for many tours to come. This new album is basically one big horror movie. Song by song, each one tells a story. Each one is brutal in its own way. Dude, when this dropped, I had this on repeat because my Spotify was fucking up. So this is the only song.
I forgot that was the one. Yeah, dude.
This is the one loaded in the chamber. So I just kept it on repeat, and it grew on me, dude. I loved it at first, but then I really, really fucking loved it at the end. Just so much going on with this song, dude. Why don't you give us a little bit of the taste of the song with some notes that we wrote down?
So 2 things I want to point out right off the bat, just like as blanket for the track itself. Scotty and Lewis is the perfect feature for this track, dude.
Absolutely.
His vocals complement Keith's style swimmingly. I don't know why I put that, but it does. And it seems like they utilize him throughout the track, which is always exciting rather than just one specific section of the track. I love it. And it's almost like a guessing game at that point to be like, oh, dude, like, is that Keith? Is that Scott? I don't know. Like they sound so like the coalescence there of their voices is chef's kiss, dude. I'm trying to utilize coalescence as much as I can because I love that term. But to get back to it, Scott's highs are so distinct and his lows are just different enough from Keith's to add that extra oomph, as we like to say. I believe that's a technical term. The other thing that really stood out to me is I love the synth work. It's rather subdued instead of it being such a prominent part of the track like a lot of newer blackened deathcore, symphonic deathcore is. It adds the atmospheric element to the track to make it feel more cinematic, which seems like that's the vibe the squad is going for since they're going for one big horror movie with this album. I really love it, dude. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like that's kind of like a breath of fresh air because like it took me a minute. I was like, damn, like is that in there? To shout out the mixing on this track, it's stellar, as we like to say here on Brewtal. Jason Sufkoff is such a sick producer, and these new tracks really have made the band sound next fucking level. I remember like the first couple of Trivium albums, like being with Jason Sufkoff, and like I was a fan after that. Like he's done so many amazing albums over the years. Recently, besides the Convalescence, he is doing the new Job for Cowboy album. Yeah. So you know that they're in good company here.
Can't wait for that one, by the way.
Right, same. So about the song itself, I love the opening to the track and how the riff and the rhythm section really build with each other, while the keys bring in that atmospheric element right off the bat. To me, that feels like such an old school Black and Deathcore move, i.e., our homies in the Breathing Process, Winds of Plague, Abigail Williams, etc. We're here for it on Brewtal because that's what we kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
23 seconds in, and you know your boy has to talk about them sick, nasty pinch harmonics. Slut for it. Always said that. Always will say it. It's like da-da-da-da pinch, da-da-da-da pinch, but it's like a lower part on the fretboard. It's enough to bring a grown man to cry. Tears of joy. I cried. Tears of joy while listening to this.
We both cried together.
We did. In each other's arms. Virtual arms. Around 55 seconds makes me feel like a demonic carousel ride. I guess it's kind of like the calliope of the carousel or carousel, if you will.
Nice.
That it just accompanies like a good old fashioned carousel ride. So like, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's really fun to me. Like in the midst of all this brutality, it just seems like, I don't know, like it shouldn't fit, but it does really nicely. Around a minute 28, when Keith sounds like he's about to get a xenomorph bursting through the chest cavity, there's a nice little bass part from Ronald before Cameron hits that bell. No, kids, it's not ice cream. It's time to open up the fucking pit.
I love that description.
I have so much fun with these, dude. When I actually have like the mental space to like really, really get into it, dude, I love it. Around 2 minutes, there is the only section that really differs from the rest of the track, And when Keith belts out, the vicious cycle repeats again. Not only do we go back to the nastiness that is the rest of the song, but when you watch the fucking amazing claymation video, and yes, you heard that right, claymation, you'll notice that they kind of go back to the beginning of what happens in the video, which is so meta. And on the record, I love the video, dude. It's so much fun.
It makes me think of Celebrity Deathmatch, and that's all that needs to be said.
Yes, dude. That is an amazing way to put it. It really does. And I mean, it's really brutal too. If you think of like the Alien movies, especially like the chest bursting scene, stuff like that, plenty of it. And they even have a little Scott Ian Lewis character in there too, which is really cute.
I'm like the referee. Let's get it on. Like, let's go.
Hell yeah, dude. But yeah, to finish out the track, it just kind of ends with like this nice little snare fill, like amongst the riff itself. And it's really abrupt, but like it's the perfect ending before having the track on a vicious cycle of repeating.
Which is what I did. Yeah.
Right. Inadvertently, yes.
But like that son of a bitch.
It really does like play very well into each other. In Todd's case, like if it is just kind of stuck in the chamber there and you're just listening to it, fuck yeah. But it does harken back to wanting to listen to it over and over again. And I can't stress enough, like watch the video too. We'll link it in there, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But as we like to ask all of the featured bands, we like to hear what they're drinking and what they're listening to. So Todd, why don't you go down that dark, eerie corridor and let us know what the Convalescence is drinking and listening to.
All right, we're going to start off with drinks. On vocals, we got Keith. He is a PBR man. Love to see it. Stimulating that economy.
Hell yeah.
Then we got Brandon. He is drinking Rocket Fuel from Eighth Wonder Brewery. I've actually never heard of them, so that's what's up. We'll have to check them out. Toby, his vote is Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. That is, you're shooting a heart.
Solid.
Yeah, you're shooting arrow into Arie's heart right now. Like that's his. He loves that.
Right there, baby.
After that, we have Ronald with Shiner Bock. Excellent choice. It's the beer of the South here in Texas. So great choice. Last but not least, we have Cam picking some Bush. Gotta go with that Bush, man. That is a solid domestic beer, dude.
Tis.
That just gives me party vibes. So great choice. I would love to have that in my fridge as well, just as a nice little sip at the end of the day. As far as what they're jamming, though, here are Keith's picks. They each picked two. Keith picked Cut Off the Head from To the Grave. And then he also picked The Wretched, The Ruinous from Unearthed. Solid fucking choices, Keith. Brandon, he picked The Isness from Chelsea Grin and Where Millions Have Come to Die from Shadow of Intent. Equally impressive picks. Toby, yes. He is Playing with Fire. He chose Playing with Fire from Chelsea Grin. And then Don't Forget the Eyes from Casket Robbery. And this is actually featuring Keith from the Convalescence. So that's a nice little nod to Keith. Ronald, he picked Reality Check from No Face, No Case. Hell yeah. And also User Friendly from Filth. That is what's up, guys. You guys are picking great fucking songs.
Yeah.
Cameron, though, he is picking All the Right Words from Il Nino and Origin of Sin from Chelsea Grin. Love to see that pick from Il Nino, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a banger.
Y'all killed this. We always love to see diversity. I love that y'all had different picks. I see there's a little favoritism on Chelsea Grin right now. But I mean, that double album they did was fantastic. So it makes sense in our opinion. It's probably top of mind for a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
As it is for us. But kudos to y'all. Love your beer picks too. Everyone was different. Hell yeah. Let's roll out the red carpet. I'm stealing that from Hot Ones. Sorry. It's just how it's going to be from now on. Arie, won't you tell us how we can get in touch with the band?
Absolutely, dude. We've got their website, which is tconband, all one word, .com. So basically theconvalescence.com, band.com, I should say. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Their Twitter is also tconband, But then on Facebook and Instagram, it's the Convalescence. I'm sorry. On Facebook, it's just the Convalescence. On Instagram, it's the Convalescence Official.
Regardless, if you look up Convalescence, you should be able to find them. It's pretty unique, given I don't think anyone else uses that word for their band title.
No, and honestly, to Todd's point, and to piggyback off that, if you go to the website, they have all this stuff on there. Everything you need to stay up to date with the band is right at your fingertips there, including the stellar video for the track that we're featuring, which is No Survivors, featuring Scott Ian Lewis of Carnifex. I don't know, dude. Let's say spin that shit. Watch out for the aliens, dude. Let's get it on.